Welcome to Live with the Creativity Cave. I hope you all have had a fabulous start to your week, wherever you may be, and that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday for my American friends. I am so glad to see you here tonight, and I hope you're ready for some awesome stamping. I have, I think, some cute projects for you planned today. I also have a bundle to give away from my my little card challenge that I issued a few weeks ago. So I've got prizes to give away. I've got stamping to share with you, and I hope that you're ready for a great evening. I'm gonna be a little bit quick tonight because you guys are gonna love this. I gotta go pick up a quarter of a cow. So my assistant Whitney, she grew up on a farm that raises cows, and she said, "Hey, my dad's got a quarter of a cow. Are you interested?" And I said, "Heck yeah!" So we're going to pick up a quarter of a cow. So this is funny. My son said, "Well, which quarter do we get?" And so I had to laugh about that question. So I said, I guess it depends on if whether or not we have rump roasts. That's how you tell, right? Well, at least that would give you a clue. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. We have a freezer here ready to go, and we will be having all kinds of fabulous things that we can eat. I don't know. Well, when I was a kid, my parents used to do that. Like they would get beef and pork, but Andy and I, my husband and I, have never done that. So I think it'll be nice. I remember my mom going, "Hey, run down and grab a whatever from the freezer." So I guess I can say that to my kids now. It's a weird memory, isn't it? Actually, I remember because we had a chest, and I used to have to, like, because I was short, I used to have to like dive in. Like you can like here's the edge of the chest. I would go, "Whir," and sometimes I was always worried that I was not going to get out. So I think I always made it. But we got a door opening kind. So our freezer, I will not have to worry about losing the battle of did I go in all the way. Oh my gosh. So anyway, oh, you know what? I gotta get my lips on. It's all pale and blah here. What do we have for tonight? Let's see. We need something fun. Ooh, this could be it. So anyway, I have there. Much better. Also, I saw someone, I'm sorry, I missed who it was. I think it was a Becky who said she was here for the first time. So welcome. I'm so happy that you could join us tonight. So my family and I just got back from Maine. We went out to Andy's mom's house, and Andy's mom passed away in August. So that was it was hard. There wasn't a funeral, so this was, I think, our funeral for her. But it was very, I don't know, surreal, I guess. She was such a big, huge part of our lives, my kids' lives. So it was both good but hard but weird being out there. It was a good trip for sure. It was nice to be there with her husband and just kind of sort of saying goodbye, I think. It was really pretty. Lynn, where do you live? We were in Tennant's Harbor. That's where her house is. It's about 2 hours north of Portland, Maine. We Searsport. Ooh, I don't know where that is. So they're kind of Rockland is like the closest little bit bigger town, but we flew. We did not drive. We drove. If you guys remember, we drove about a year and a half ago. We drove out there. You're 2 hours north of Portland too, so you've got to be close. That's pretty cool. In fact, I'm gonna look it up really quick on the map. So it was really fun to be out there. Oh, I just opened my weather app. That's silly. Let's see. I'm looking, Lynn. I want to know because now I'm all. Oh yeah. Okay, sure. Yep, I see where it is. So yeah, she's a little south of that. So Rockland is maybe like, well, it's not very far, but everything takes a long time to get there. They live out on a peninsula. There's a whole bunch of those where they live. Anyway, it was beautiful. I know where you are though, because last time we were there, we drove past Belfast. So yeah, I get where you are. It's so pretty out there. Their home is gorgeous and it's right on the ocean. So like we watched the one day a storm came in. It was also really, oh, you grew up in Belfast. That's cool. We had lunch there. But it was really beautiful on Thanksgiving. It was clear and sunny. And we went to, we went to the, we went to the lighthouse where it was actually in Forrest Gump, where when he's running across the country, the lighthouse he goes, it's just a few miles from their house. So we went there and took some funny pictures. We had gone there or the last time we were out there in March, so like a year and a half ago. It was so incredibly windy, like just insanely windy. And when we went on Thanksgiving Day, it was like calm and like perfect and beautiful. So it was really nice. So anyway, it was a nice trip. And I would love to go back. It's so like peaceful and wonderful at their house. It doesn't get phone service, at least not on my phone. The internet is only sort of working and it's just kind of glorious. So I did enjoy just some kind of quiet time with my family. So that was really great. I brought my computer and I didn't even open it. That was really good. So anyway, so I hope that you guys had a really nice time. Was my mother-in-law sick? She got COVID and did not wake up the next day. So pretty awful. So like incredibly unexpected. Very, very unexpected. They they had trips planned all over. She was retired, but still did just pretty active. She was an academic and a dentist, and yeah, so pretty crazy. Okay. See, I held it up together, or I held it all together so far, so that's good. But then, so this one I didn't really expect. We get there and they have like, you come in and there's the kitchen, and then off their kitchen is like this little breakfast nook. And it's just like, well, breakfast nook is wrong because there's not a table there. It's a circular window thing and it looks out on the ocean. And in the middle, they have a little table. And yeah, she's sitting there in an urn. And he just kind of said, "Oh yeah, your mom's right here." And I was like, "What?" I didn't know that. So yeah, it was it was kind of kind of crazy. But like I said, we had a good trip. It was really good. I was really frustrated that she didn't want a funeral, because it's so complicated and my kids are so still trying to understand and process, and there's like no closure. So this was kind of our closure, I guess. But we also went through some of her things, and she was like 6'1", so she's really tall. And she could wear very bold jewelry, and it was kind of funny because her husband had asked Ella and I to go through some jewelry to see if any if we wanted anything to keep as a memento for her. So we had found her wedding ring to Andy's dad. So they got divorced and she remarried her current husband. And so she still had her old wedding ring. And so Ella wanted to have it. And we were also kind of looking for something that Ella could wear on her wedding day to kind of represent grandma. And so anyway, we get the wedding ring, and when we got home, Andy called his dad about it and talked about the ring, and it turns out it was actually Andy's grandma's ring. And so Andy's dad had given it to Andy's mom, and then his grandparents, it was actually theirs originally. So he was going to call his brother to see if he could remember any more details about it. But oh my gosh. So it was really, it was pretty cool to find there's a little more history to that ring than we originally thought. So I'm anxious. And you could kind of tell that it was an older setting. It just had that vintagey look to it, So anyway, I think that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm really glad that there's going to be something that she can carry on. No, she's not engaged. She's not. She's a junior in college. That's what she is. She is not, but she has a very serious boyfriend. So I think that's coming down the road, but she is not engaged. So no, but trying to think ahead. Anyway, so yeah, I think it was a good trip. So anyway, and even better, all the travel process went very smoothly. So that was very good. I was really grateful for that. I've not had the best luck traveling. So we were really glad that everything went smoothly from that standpoint, and we made it home without any trouble and made it there. And my friend Kelly watched Izzy, and let me tell you, when we came home whenever we came home, I can't even think, Izzy had a major case of the zoomies. She was so excited to see all four of us. It was kind of like so amazing because Ella came home and we were all here, and then my friend Kelly was here, and Izzy was so excited to see Kelly and Ella, and then Ella's boyfriend came over, so like all of her favorite people were here. She got loves from everybody, and then we ruthlessly left for 5 days. And then when we came home, she was so excited again. So it was pretty funny. It took a little while for her to calm down, and we were all really tight and ready to go to sleep, and she was just so excited. So anyway, all right. Well, I think it's time. I got my little tickets here for our drawing. So if you remember, a few weeks ago, I did a cute little fun fold card, and I've actually got my sample here, so I'll show it in just a second. But I am going to do a drawing for a lucky winner who will get a bundle, and I've got a few to choose from for participating. And there were some really fun samples. You can see them in my Stamping with the Creativity Cave Facebook group, and we will have a new challenge next month, and that's like next week, that you can participate in as well if you are interested in. So I'm gonna flip my camera, and then I will do a few announcements, and then we'll get stamping. Okay, so all right. Ooh, sorry, I'm all jiggly. Okay, so there we go. Also, I made turkey dinner at their house, and I'm pretty sure it was the first time their oven had been used, and they've lived there for 5 or 6 years. So that's fun. Okay, I'm just grabbing my papers. Ooh, I hope I have my papers. Ruh-roh, maybe I don't. Oh, here they are. Okay, so first things first, this was the card, but I've got a couple things to share with you. First of all, we have some fun opportunities coming up for classes. First off is you have until November 30th to get subscribed to my Sunshine and Creativity Delivered. We're going to do really awesome projects with ink blending techniques. And if you would like the December box, which is the ink blending techniques, you need to subscribe by November 30th. And there's a link in the description of this video for this and everything else I'm talking about. Also, our Fitting Florets class is going out in a couple of days. You can get registered for that. The cards are glorious. They're really pretty, and I think you'll enjoy them. Of course, the Fitting Florets collection is part of our special going on this month and continues into next month. And then that framed florets bundle will be in our new catalog that starts in January. So that's awesome. Also the Jingle 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 Creativity to Go kit, which makes both cards and Christmas or like gift tags. That is going to also be going out later this week. So you can get registered for that. I will be sending last chance emails on those classes, by the way, here in the next day or so. It's also the last few days you can get the Sun Prince All-Star Tutorial PDF for free. This PDF has 12 glorious projects featuring the Sun Prince suite from the annual catalog. And then in addition, if you place a $100 purchase in my online store between November 15th and the end of the month, you can get this pack of cards and envelopes. There's 20 cards and envelopes in here. It's called Good Things. And it's actually will coordinate with a paper pumpkin kit for next month. But the cards and envelopes don't really have anything to do with that kit except that they match. You can make all kinds of glorious cards with these. They're really wonderful colors and are perfect. There's just like a little bit of kind of a texture. They're not textured, it's just a print on here. Kind of looks like linen fabric maybe. Anyway, they're really cute. And of course there's matching envelopes, which who does not like a matching envelope? So anyway, you can get those for free from me when you spend $100. Of course, you'll get the PDF as well. So if you do that, please make sure to use the host code. This is also on my blog. And of course, those details are in my newsletter as well, if you're a newsletter subscriber. So there's all the info of what's coming up. Then this was our little fun fold from a couple weeks ago. This is that Jingle 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 stamp set that my Creativity to Go kit is featuring this month. So this was a fun way to use both sides of your DSP in a card. And we had a bunch of people participate, so I put your names on tickets, and we are going to go through and draw a winner. Now the winner is going to get their choice of bundles, and here, let me pull the winner out, and then I will tell you the prize that they can pick from, and it is Courtney Austin Darp. So congratulations, Miss Courtney. So Courtney, you can choose from the Hello Harvest bundle, the Perched in a Tree bundle, or the Season of Chic bundle. So let me know your choice and we will get this sent out to you. So if you, I don't know if you're here tonight or if you're watching the replay, congratulations, Courtney. Yay, you. And all of you can enjoy the projects. Once again, it's in my Stamping with the Creativity Cave Facebook group. So awesome. All right. So tonight, I had a couple weeks ago, I had a request for a Christmas Barns project, which we will do that tonight. I also had requests for Christmas cards. So we will have all of that taken care of with you. Hold on, I gotta put my friend's mug back up. I love this for drawing because it's nice and big. Oh, I guess I can dump out the tickets. But my big giant friend's mug is really handy for drawing names. Okay, so our first card is going to feature the Snow Crystal stamp set and the sorry, hold on. Oh my gosh. Ginny, it was fun to hear you graduated from Elk River. Yeah, I did. All 3 of your grandkids graduated from there. Oh my gosh. Small world, isn't it? I know. I have not been there in a really long time because my family doesn't live in that area anymore. So I would love to go back and see it, though. I know it's changed a lot since I went there. Anyway, so we're going to use the Snow Crystal background as well as the Joyful Flurry bundle to make our project. And I really love this stuff. It's so fun. And does the big snowflake have a die? No, it does not. But we're going to make a really fun project that does not require a die. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to start with a fresh freesia card base. Okay, so we're going to do kind of a little unique color combination. And maybe unique isn't exactly the right word, but not like your traditional blues or aquas. It's going to be kind of purples. So I've got Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Orchid Oasis. Okay, so I'm going to start with a 4x5 1/4 panel of Fresh Freesia. And we're going to stamp our Snow Crystal on here. And I'm going to kind of put it a little bit off to the side. Now, because this is a big stamp, I think the easiest way to stamp it is with a Stamparatus. So we're going to put this in here like so. And I like to line my Stamparatus up so it's kind of in the corner right here. And then I'll put my magnet on here. I'll ink up my stamp. And I'm going to use Fresh Freesia ink onto my Fresh Freesia card base. Like so. And then I've got my little hockey puck thingy, whatever this is. It's a air hockey thing. You're welcome for that helpful terminology, by the way. Okay, so there we go. And I didn't like have it in there straight. It's sort of crooked. So, okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to get rid of this because I'm done with that now. Get it off to the side. Okay, so this is really pretty. Now, ahead of time, I die cut a couple of things. And I've got, this is a stylish shape circle die cut. I've also die cut a couple of snowflakes these are in Highland Heather. And then I've also die cut this snowflake. This is in Orchid Oasis. Now, some of the dies in this set are really cool. They kind of, they like are attached. So like you could pop them up like so onto a card. like that. You could also like die cut this out of, you could put like a center die over it and die cut it, obviously not in the corner the way I've die cut it. Or you can take it out by just snipping the cardstock layers in between, which, oh, I did get that one. I'm like, why is this not working? Here we go. So I'm just going to snip this out of the cardstock. So I like that you kind of have the option for a couple of different ways of using this die. And wow, I'm on the struggle today. Let's see. Okay, so there we go. And I haven't decided if I even want to use this, but I wanted to show you how that die worked because there's a couple dies in the set that are like that. Okay, so I've got this. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment on my circle and then put it kind of in the middle here. And I want to do that first, and then I can kind of decide how I'm going to put the remainder of the snowflakes on here. Because I like to have options, that's what it's all about. Okay, so I've got my Orchid Oasis ink pad, and I'm going to take and do Joyful Wishes just right in the center here. So that's pretty. And then, oops, I want to leave this open because I'm also going to stamp. I love when stamp sets have, I like to call them innies and outies. So there's an outie sentiment and then there's an innie sentiment. So we can stamp our innie on the inside, and this says, sending you all the best this new year. Aw, so nice. Okay, so this is kind of a nice card too. If you maybe don't want to send a Christmas card, you can send kind of just a holiday card. I don't know what people do, but I'm just giving you the options. Okay, so I'm going to stamp a couple of these cute little snowflakes on the inside of my card, and then we'll also add a couple of them to the outside of our card, and maybe one more over there, just to kind of add a little touch to that. Okay, now I want to pop up this. So I'm going to take some dimensionals and put this on here like so. And then, like I said, I've got these little snowflakes and I can't decide. I feel like we should use maybe what I'll do. Well, let's see. I'll put that right there. I have an idea. I think it's going to work out pretty great too. And then we've got this one right here. I'll put that right there. And then this, oops, I keep forgetting my dots are on my roll. I've got just a few left that are the old way. And then one up there. Okay. And then we're going to embellish. So I've got some iridescent pearls, which I think are perfect for this. So let's looks like we need to use up some of these. So I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to take and put a little one in the little snowflake and big one in the big snowflakes, like that. And then I also want to add a little bow here. So I've got some Orchid metallic weave ribbon, which is super cute. And I'm going to do, I'm going to do a double bow, I think. This should be enough. I love this ribbon, but it's kind of thin, and a double bow will sort of fill it out a little bit more without it being too complicated. And I can even tie it. Okay, so, but this double bow is still small enough that, you know, it'll not cause any thickness issues on your card. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, so I'm just trying to separate these two lips. Oh, there we go. I think I've got it. Awesome. So we'll just tack that on with yet another fabulously useful glue dot. I love glue dots. I mean, you could really run the whole world if you had enough glue dots. I really believe that. Okay, so that looks awesome. Last thing I'm going to do before I put this on our card, actually maybe I will just put it on my card and then we're gonna spritz. I mean, hello. You guys probably knew that was coming. Okay. Ooh. All right, so there we go. I popped that up. Now I'm going to take my orchid marker and spritz on here. Maybe once more. There we go. And then I'm also going to spritz with my clear wing Castella. Oh, that's the one that's like out. Here we go. And so I'm just tapping this against my bone folder so that I get little shimmery spritzes on here. And voila! Oh, so beautiful. So isn't that gorgeous? I just love the colors. So once again, we had a Fresh Freesia card base. We've got Highland Heather and Orchid Oasis on our card. So pretty. And again, that is the Snow Crystal background and Joyful Flurry bundle. So both of those are in the holiday catalog. So woohoo! All right, the Spritz pen. So this is the clear Wink of Stella, and it's like a brush, and you can brush on, but I like to spritz with it so I get little speckles on things. So it's pretty. We'll use it actually here on another card in a minute, so you can see its other intended way of use here in just a minute. Okay, so that was our first card. Let me clear off my stuff. Okay, our next card is going to feature the, let me get out all my goodies. It's going to feature the Christmas Barn bundle. And this was another request that I had for a project tonight. And I really like this one. It's just super pretty. And it just, I don't know about you guys, but it just kind of reminds me of kind of country Christmas, which is nice. So anyway, I am going to start off everything with a crumb cake card base. And so I'll give that a good crease. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp. So, okay, I'm going to set that aside. We'll come back to it. I've got a scrap of crumb cake, and we're going to die cut that with a stitched rectangle here in just a minute or so. So I'm going to take scraps and stamp a couple pieces. So the first one is the wreath that comes in this stamp set. So I've got the wreath in Old Olive ink on an Old Olive scrap of cardstock, and then I'll die cut that in just a minute. I've also got let me throw this back on here before I lose it. Oops. I've also got the barn. Okay, and I've got this set up on my Stamparatus once again. And so for this one, I've just got a scrap of red cardstock. Now this time I'm going to ink this up in some cherry cobbler ink because I want it to show up just a little darker on my red cardstock, but still be kind of red, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to ink this up really well. Okay. And then let's hold this in place in case we have to restamp. Get my hockey puck thing handle out. And there we go. Open this up. Oh, it looks glorious. So beautiful. Okay, so it shows up just a little darker, but it's not black. You know what I mean? I like the difference. Okay, so we'll set this aside. And then I am going to take and die cut both of these pieces, which I've already done. And then I've also die cut the fence out of a scrap of white and then the silo out of a scrap of red. So we're going to put all this together on our card. I'm also going to take some of the snowflakes from my Joyful Flurry stamp set and use them on here because there's no snow stamp in the Christmas barn, which I think is a little crazy, but I do acknowledge that not every barn is in a place where snow flies, even though it seems to me this would have been a really perfect thing. But I will say most of you probably have a snow stamp somewhere in some set somehow. But I'm also doing just a little stamp surgery because it really bugs me when I catch my rubber and I just don't want to do that. Okay, now I'm going to use some white ink, which white ink on craft cardstock is one of my very favorite things. So I'm going to use some of that and we're going to stamp the background on here like so. Just to kind of cover things like that. Okay. And then let's arrange the pieces. So I've got my my barn, but you can see there's sort of this red stuff, this red business happening here. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is take some of our Snowfall Accents puff paint and use some of that. So I'm going to shake it up really well. Now this comes out probably a little runnier than you might anticipate. So you want to be a little careful about how you apply it, because you can get, let's just say, a little more than you bargained for if you're not careful. And so I've got the roof of the barn, but I'm also going to kind of go down the side a little bit like this, and on the top like this. And then we're going to go along the ground like this. So like I said, you want a light touch, because if you're not careful, you can end up with a lot more paint than you bargained for. But on the bottom here, I'm going to try and really cover up that whole space. Now, one way you can use this is by allowing it to completely dry before you heat it. Another way is kind of the other way that I will use is to sort of heat it with a crust and then heat it for the puff. So let me explain what I mean by that. First of all, I'm going to pick this baby up with my embossing toolkit tweezers. Okay. And you can see some of the ink is coming out, but we can fix that. So what I'm trying to do is heat it with a crust. And what I mean by that is I want to heat it up so that it sort of forms a crust, but doesn't necessarily puff. So I'm sort of drying it in essence. And you can kind of see it almost looks like Elmer's glue. If I really concentrate, now you can see it's starting to heat to puff up. So we'll let that happen a little bit. But as you can see, the red is coming through, but that's not a problem, so don't worry. We're gonna come back and hit it one more time, and then that'll be kind of the legit time. So if you don't do the crust first, the crust part just kind of helps get a base going, and then the next time we'll heat it for real. Now the difference between the two is if you heat it for the crust, you're kind of just heating it and going over different spaces without, you're kind of going over it like this. But if you're concentrating the heat in one spot, that's what allows the puffiness to happen. Okay, so we've kind of got our base coat. Okay, now I'm going to put more down. And this time, because we've got the crust down, we'll concentrate the heating. Okay, so I'll do this much first. And we're gonna we're going for blowing that baby up right away. So I'm not moving the heat around, I'm concentrating it all in one spot. And then she'll start to go. There she is. And you can see this time it's puffing up quite a bit more because we didn't kind of pre-dry it first. And of course the reason is because we want this to be white and not pick up the ink, which it pretty much is doing. Okay. So there's one layer, and this is a card of love. Let's just be honest here, because you're not going to do this for just anybody. And do you see how it comes out fast? In fact, I'm going to try and kind of scooch some over. Oh, that's not going very well. There we go. Now, all of this could be avoided if I would have stamped it not in black, or not in red. Then you don't have to build up the layers the same way, but this is just so that we don't have red snow. There we go. Look at that. It's so awesome. Okay, we're almost done. Now, I kind of made this poofy on the top, and we're going to go a little bit less poofy on the bottom because we're going to put our fence over the top, so we don't want this to be super blobby, We get a fence to go over this. We're almost done. But It's so pretty. Have you guys tried using this stuff? It's really fun. Okay. All right. I would probably do one more layer on the bottom just because, but this is already taking quite a while. So, but I think it looks pretty good. So now we've got a nice snowy barn. Okay. And I've also got somewhere, I don't know what happened to my, here we go. I've got my wreath that we're going to add to our barn, which I think is just such a pretty touch. And many barns out here do have wreaths on them, just like this, which I think is really fun. I'm actually going to cut this in half and put half on one side and half on the other, like that. Okay. So we'll put that right there. All right. Now we're going to put this on our card. Ooh, I did not think this all the way through, but that's okay. We're actually going to put this on our card in a bit because we're going to add our fence kind of over the top, but we want to die cut this layer. I was going to die cut after the fact, but because we have all this puff paint on, duh, I need to die cut this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my little stitched rectangle. Now, one thing is whenever you die cut something that's a square or rectangle shape, if you put it in your die cut machine, even just slightly off kilter like this, you know, it's going through the machine this way, you will get a much better and easier to pull out cut, if that makes sense. So you can hear it didn't make that huge click like the big, you know, and I didn't have to force it through. And then you can see it just falls right out. But if I would have run this through just full on 90 degree, or, you know, here's the roller. If I were to run it through exactly straight on, all the pressure is built up over that whole length versus feeding like this corner and then going across the pressure. So, and everything just works better that way. So I don't know if you knew that little trick, but it is very, very effective. Now, before I add those things to this little scene, I want to take my white ink pad and just brush the edges of my die cut. And this kind of creates like a frosted window pane, really, which I think is pretty. Okay, now we're going to add everything to this. So now somebody asked, how does this go through the mail? It's going to squish it a little bit, but it actually does go through pretty well. That is, of course, if you have dried it completely. If you haven't, and actually mine just squirted a little out. If you haven't, then it sometimes can cause problems. So just make sure it's completely dry, meaning it up and it has, you know, puffed up all the way. By the way, I'm burning my hands as I finish that last little bit off. And we'll just wipe that up. Okay, so I'm going to place this on here like so. I'm going to tuck my little silo behind. Now the silo's just going to stick out from here like that. All right, and then I'm going to add my fence over the top. And I think what I'm just going to do is put a little bit of glue on here in a few spots that it's going to touch. So I'm sort of lining up those spots. And one more right here, because it's not going to really touch the whole thing, just a few of the spots. Okay, so I'm just holding it there for a sec, and now it's all attached. Okay, now we're going to add this to our card, and I think actually I might do one more die cut. Pardon my changing my mind here at the last minute, but I feel like I need one more layer. Okay, so I'm going to pull the next size rectangle, and I'm going to run that through with some white cardstock really quick. So let me quick run this through. Again, doing it at the angle. And it pops right out. Okay, I'm going to layer this on to my card like so. And I don't know if I like that. Let's try. No, I don't like that either. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay, so I'm going to attach this with some seal. And I've got this kind of up a little ways. I'm going to run some linen thread around a couple times. Now, if you like what you see, could y'all give me the thumbs up? That would just rock my world. The YouTube loves it when you like my videos, and it helps me quite a bit. So I see a whole bunch of you on here, and if you could thumbs me up, that would just rock so much. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so I've got my linen thread. I just wrapped it around 3 times, and you can kind of spread those out a little bit on here. And then I'm going to tie a bow way off to the edge here. And then we're going to add our little barn over the top. There we go. And you're going to giggle at me. I'm going to scooch it over just a little bit. Come on, work with me. Work with me, linen thread. There we go. All right. Now we'll add that barn over the top. Looks pretty good. Okay, and I've got my sentiment that says Merry Christmas to you and yours. And we shall stamp that in, I think, some red ink. I did not do a very good job of picking that up. Okay. So there we go. Then on the inside, we're going to stamp. I could have done it in white ink too, but I went with red. On the inside, we're going to use this other sentiment that says, may joy fill your heart this season. Oh my gosh, if that's not awesome, I don't know what is. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up. and stamp that right here in the middle. And isn't that just lovely? Now, because I love this set so much, I'm going to I got to clean this off quick. Hold on. Let me get my cleaner. Because we don't want to stamp fresh freesia snowflakes. So I'm going to pull that joyful flurry stamp one more time. And some white ink. And stamp a couple of those on the inside as well. Oh, so pretty. I love it. So there we go. Isn't that fun? All right, so that was our second card. By the way, let's trim that a little bit. Oh, so gorgeous. And no embellishments. I think our snow was kind of embellishment enough. But we could take and make our snow sparkle a little bit, as snow does, by brushing some clear Wink Stella over the top here. Like that. And then we could even put some on the bow, on the wreath. And there we go. So now it's a little shimmery. Oh, so cute. Okay. So that was, oh, gosh, I totally messed up. Well, no, it's fine. Never mind. I didn't. It's all good. We're leaving it as is. Okay, there we go. So next up, we're going to do one more card. This time, a Christmassy card with the gnome set. Okay, so let me pick up some of my messes. Alrighty. So I got all my pieces and my parts. Okay, so this card is really fun. We're going to do a little watercolor because you know I love me some watercolor. And I'm going to take and stamp my gnome. Where's my gnome? Here we go. So this is the Kindest Gnomes bundle. Oh, so cute. And it's got really fun sentiments in it. And of course, 4 little gnomes. Now here's a fun little secret for you. There is a new gnome set coming in the January catalog, and it will coordinate with the dies. So if you love the gnomes, make sure you get them now, because the bundle pricing I don't think will carry over into the new catalog, but there will be another set that will coordinate with these gnomes and the dies. So it's going to be really fun. Okay, so you can take any of the gnomes out of here, and we're going to color them. I am going to stamp mine on a piece of watercolor paper. And I'm going to do that in some black Stays-On ink, I think. I was kind of deciding whether or not I should do black Stays-On or if I should heat set and emboss in black powder, but this is quick and easy since we've kind of done a lot of heating already. Okay, so now I'm going to color him in. We'll just give him a quick second to dry. And I love to watercolor, of course. Watercoloring is so easy, and it is not at all complicated. I'm going to use 2 colors primarily, but then we'll add a little bit more for accents. I've got some Balmy Blue and some Pacific Point. And then I'm going to color in his little shoes with some soft suede, and then his nose with some petal pink. And yeah, so I'm going to use the finest of the 3 water painters. This is like the skinniest one, I guess. And so I'll start and do his little nose in petal pink. And of course, if you want a darker skin tone, you can adjust accordingly. You can mix in here some crumb cake, some soft suede, or early espresso to get warmer shades. Another option would be to color it with our neutrals, Stampin' Blends, which are going to represent lots of different skin tone color ranges. And then I'm going to take and do his hat with some of my Balmy Blue. Now you can pick up the ink like I did by squeezing the ink pad to the lid. If your hand strength isn't such that you can do that, you can just take a block and touch it into the pad and pick it up that way. Now, I like picking up the color when I watercolor like this better than using a reinker. And the reason is because the reinker is going to be much more concentrated color. And this is going to be a little bit lighter, meaning I can control how bright it is a lot better and get more of that watercolory look. So I've kind of gone around the edges. I'm going to clean my brush off and just sort of blend this out with some water. I'm getting a little more water than I wanted on here, so I'm going to wipe it off on my rag and then can continue blending it like that. And I'm even going to leave a couple little white spots you can see on his hat, because that just is sort of how the watercolory look is. Okay, I'll continue with his shirt and pants with my Pacific Point. And I'll just kind of repeat that same process. I'll put down some real dark Pacific Point. Then I'll clean off my brush. It helps to have a rag. This is just an old burp rag that I use. And then I'm going to just put some clean water to bleed this out. Pacific Point is a nice bright color, so she'll bleed pretty good. Sometimes it helps to do this with heat embossing instead of just the Stays-On ink, because you can really control where the water and everything goes. We want to be careful to not let it bleed into his beard or into his hat. We want those to remain separate colors. So sometimes it's good to let, like you could see it's, well, I don't know if you can see that, it's dry in that border between the two, so it's not going to bleed. Now I am excited to tell you that if you like watercoloring, I have a Watercolor Stamp Camp 2 coming out early next year. The registration, it might come out in December, otherwise it'll come out in January. But it will be new projects, new techniques, new. I've actually been working on this behind the scenes for a few months already, and I'm very excited about it. So if you like to watercolor and want to learn more, oh, I can help you. Okay, so that looks pretty good so far. Now the nice thing about this too is I can come back and add a little bit more color if I want. Like I'm going to put a little more color on his sleeve right there, and a little bit more in the corners here. And we're good to go. I'll wipe that off. Now his shoes and the lantern, I want to color in with some soft suede. So we'll pick some of that up here. Now if you don't want to wait for it to dry, you can for sure heat it with your heat tool. Or you can be very careful, as I am. I am living a little wild and dangerous by doing that, but we'll be okay, I think. Now the secret to watercoloring is for sure the paper. If you are not using watercolor paper, don't bother, because the watercolor paper is really critical for getting excellent results. I shouldn't say don't bother, that's a little extreme, but it's very frustrating to try and get watercolor results on regular cardstock because you will never ever achieve them. It's the paper is really important, because the paper is designed to kind of deal with the amount of water that you need in order to color things. So then I'm going to go over the lantern here kind of real carefully. I also note his sleeve on the lantern hand. I need to do that as well. So I'm doing this with very little water, just kind of getting some of the color on there. I'm going to pick back up my blue and just hit that little sleeve right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we want him to dry. So we're going to set him aside from, oh no, sorry, I need one more little thing. I'm going to put some Daffodil Delight on here. I forgot. For the inside of the lantern, just a little bit of light yellow. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to set him aside to let him dry. And I will pick up my card, and let's put that together while he's off waiting for drying so I can die cut him. Okay, so I've got a balmy blue card base. I've got a layer of white, which is, I think, 4 by 5 1/4. Nope, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, which makes this 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to take and put a strip of DSP. This is the Kindest Gnomes DSP. So we want the pretty little side with the snowflakes, and we're going to attach that to the edge of our balmy blue card base or card panel. This is again 3 3/4 by 5, so we'll trim this down to 5 inches. This strip of cardstock is 1 inch and probably a half, I'd say. Let's pull out my ruler. Full disclosure, an inch and a half. Okay, we'll trim off the excess here, and then I'm just going to use, flying through. I'm going to use some of my Baker's Twine. This is from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, although I'm using one of our old rolls of white. But the same stuff is in the Essentials pack, which has several colors, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to put a couple layers on here, and then we'll tie this in a bow. Like so. Okay, and then this is going to be adhered to my white panel. Like that. Okay, now I've got a circle of vellum, but what I want to add to it is a little snowflake. These are from, I think they're called Wonderful Snowflakes. They're kind of iridescent-y. They're really pretty. And I'm going to put that on top of here. And I like the vellum circle because it sort of kind of grounds the snowflake, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but and we'll just put a little bit of adhesive in the center of that and just put it on here. So you can kind of center this up. This is die cut with our layering circle die. Okay, now we're going to pop up our cute little gnome on top of this here in just a second. But I got to die cut him first. Let's see if he's dry. I think he is. Just about. Let's just hit that last little bit of his hat because we don't want any smearing happening. And oh, he looks so cute. Isn't that fun? And I love the way it dries. Looks very watercolory. Perfect. Okay, so let's take our dies and die cut him. I think this is the one. Oh, so cute. So I'm going to run this through my machine. I'm going to find me a little Post-it and hold that in place. Okay, so there he is. So cute. Okay, so we're going to pop him up on here. In just a second, I guess I can add this to my card. Like so. Then I'm going to put a little adhesive right in the center here. And I could add more if I felt I needed it. I'm not too concerned about this. But then we're going to pop him up over the top with some dimensionals. So cute. Oh, but wait. I needed one more piece of DSP. So hold on, let me pull my packet out. Okay, and I've got this looks like about a 3/4 inch scrap. I'm just going to run this right across here. Like so. And this will just kind of sort of ground him on our card a little bit. And oops, I'm going to go all the way across like that. Okay. And he's just going to sort of stand on here a little bit. There we go. And then in our set, we've got some sentiments that are super sweet. Ooh, did I already pull this out? Uh-oh. Where's my warmest wishes? What did I do? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to ink that up with some warm wishes. I'm going to ink this up with some Pacific Point and stamp it right down here, like so. Perfect. And then okay, I'm looking for my fine glitter adhesive dots, which I know I've got around here somewhere. I feel like they must have slipped under something. So those little stinkers, where did they go? Whew. I hate when this happens. We've been doing so good tonight. All the things have been right here for us. I love when that happens. But now one little thing, and now it's missing. Well, I love them because there's Pacific Point little dots in that set. And normally I have another one, but I don't have another one, if you know what I mean. Like usually I have 2 of everything out, but I can't find the dots. That's not good. Well, shoot. Okay, let's make sure they're not at the bottom of this. No, they're not. They're not over here. Oh, wait. No, they're not there. Well, darn it. Ugh. Well, I'm going to find them. I'm going to put some little gems on here in Pacific Point. And there we go. So we've got the warmest wishes. And then we're going to do Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on the inside. Because that'll just be pretty. Or pretty cute. You know. We'll do that in Pacific Point as well. All right. So there you go. I hate when I lose stuff. Oh. Rosie said I pushed them up. Well, no, these were These were the iridescent. I want this fine sparkle, you know, that goes with this whole suite of goodies. That's so perfect and cute and adorable, you know. So I don't see them. But anyway, that's okay. I will find them and then I'll take pictures and share them with the cute little dots because they really are cute. All right. So let me show you my projects for today. We've got this cutie patootie gnome card. We've got this fun Christmas barn card. And then we've got this pretty little snowflake card with the snow crystal and the joyful flurry stamps. So really fun projects, I think. A little variety, a little bit of everything. Of course, what I love about this gnome is he'd be a perfect little gnome for like thank you cards after the holidays, or you know, just like whatever. There's sentiments in there for several occasions, which is just wonderful. And oh, I found them. Someone said, look under the bird cloth. They weren't under that, but they were kind of over here. All right, so let's add our little gems to this. I'm going to put one right there. I mean, that just was screaming for a little sparkly gem in the middle. And then we'll put one right over here too. So I've got my 3. And look at how fun that is. Oh, so cute. So I hope you loved my projects. Of course, if you would like any of the supplies used in my projects, you can shop my online store. I'd be so grateful for your business. And I have gifts with purchase at both $50 and $100. And you can have yourself all sorts of Stampin' Fun. If you are watching, oh, I got a tip. Thank you so much, whoever sent me that tip. That's fun. I really appreciate that. Gosh, it's so sweet when you give me tips. Oh my gosh, it makes my day. So thank you so much. You can also, if you could, give me the thumbs up. That would just rock my world. And I will be right back here next week for you with some more fabulous cards. So have a really wonderful week, you guys. I hope this Monday started things off for you wonderfully. And I will see you again soon. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.